My number one goal is to help as many sports bettors around the world grow their bankroll and fulfill their dreams by making smarter sports betting decisions. Today we're going to take one more step towards that goal by previewing the 2020 season for the Buffalo Bills. My name is Professor MJ, a university statistics professor. I spent a lot of time analyzing each position on all 32 NFL teams. This video presents just a little fraction of what I found, and I strongly encourage you to watch my other 31 team previews. This information is going to be gold for you, especially if you are involved in fantasy football and or sports betting. Alright, so enough with the introduction. Let's move on to the Buffalo Bills 2020 preview. For those of you who have been following my work for a while, you know that I placed my largest bet ever on the 2019 Buffalo Bills to win more than 6.5 games. I told you my numerous arguments backing the pick, including the easy schedule, the young, improving core of players, and also the smart free agent acquisitions. Through 10 games, Buffalo had already won 7 contests to clinch the bet. The Bills had a successful 10-6 season and made the playoffs as the number 1 wildcard team. That nice year left a very sour taste in Bills fans' mouth. They blew a 16-0 lead to lose 22-19 in overtime at Houston. But still, making the playoffs in 2 of the past 3 seasons is encouraging, especially for a squad that had missed the playoffs 19 straight years. Most of their top players are very young, so Bills fans have a lot of reasons to be optimistic right now. Let's investigate the QB position. This is a critical year for Josh Allen. He enters his 3rd year as a pro, with 28 games under his belt. Quarterbacks suddenly becoming great in their 4th year or later are seldom seen in the NFL. Bills Mafia is hoping he can elevate his play in 2020. Allen did take a leap from 2018 to 19. His completion rate went from 53% to 59%. His TD to INT ratio also improved, 10 to 12 a couple of years ago versus 20 to 9 last year. I have to admit I was not convinced Buffalo had made a good pick by selecting him in the 2018 draft, and trading up and sacrificing draft capital to get him seemed even worse to me. I kept hearing about how he had ideal size and a cannon arm, but that he had accuracy issues. And to me, being accurate is a vital part of a QB's game, and it's something that's hard to teach. However, Allen has done better than expected, well, at least for me. His mobility and pocket awareness are pretty good. His arm strength is very impressive. He completed a higher percentage of his passes in 2019, but he had trouble completing long throws. Allen has a brand new toy this year, Stefon Diggs. Along with John Brown and Cole Beasley, Buffalo now has a very nice trio of receivers. No more excuses for Allen. It's time to shine. As of now, Matt Barkley is still backing up Allen. He had a nice showing at the Jets in 2018, but he was not so great in 2 appearances last year. Let's talk about the players in the backfield for Buffalo. Frank Gore was really bad last year. The team let rookie Devin Singletary take a bigger role in the second half of the season, and they got rewarded. Gore is now off the team and Singletary has a clear path as the number 1 back. At 5'7", the 2019 third-round pick was surprisingly good at breaking tackles. He rarely got down upon the first contact. He averaged a whopping 5.1 yards per carry last year, and is also useful in the passing game. He caught 6 balls in the playoff game at Houston. TJ Yeldon will provide some depth, but he is not the ideal number 2 back. The former Jaguar was not used very much in 2019. So for this reason, the Bills selected Zack in the 3rd round of this year's draft. He had a very productive career with the Utah Utes, with 3 1,000 rushing yard seasons. Moss has plenty of playing experience, so he is more pro-ready. He has a history of knee injuries though, but when healthy, he's extremely good at breaking tackles. Let's talk about the Bills' wide receivers. Acquiring Stefon Diggs is going to make a world of difference for Buffalo's offense, who has been lacking playmakers. He finished as the number 19 wide receiver out of 122 guys, according to Pro Football Focus rankings. Diggs' presence will open up the field for John Brown and Cole Beasley, who ranked as the number 32 and 36 wideouts in the NFL based on PFF. They caught 72 and 67 balls respectively, with both catching 6 TD passes. Brown had a career-high 1,060 yards and he was very consistent throughout the year. Isaiah McKenzie made a respectable contribution to the offense last year, both as a pass catcher and as a runner, but he's more of a gadget play guy. Will Duke Williams finally find a home in the NFL? The former CFL star led the Bills with 10 targets in the playoff loss to the Texans. He has a big frame and could be used in the red zone. The team picked 2 receivers in later rounds in this year's draft. Both have an asset that was grossly missing last year: size. It remains to be seen if either Gabriel Davis or Isaiah Hodgins can have an impact in year number 1. Let's keep rolling with the tight end position. The Bills drafted 2 tight ends last year: Dawson Knox in the 3rd round and Tommy Sweeney in the 7th round. Knox definitely showed more flashes, with 28 receptions compared to just 8 for Sweeney. However, he's far from a finished product. He dropped 10 passes on 50 targets, which is an incredibly high rate. Knox did have a highlight reel catch against the Bengals though. He caught a 49-yard pass on which he ran over defenders, including a stiff arm of Sean Williams and a brutalizing helmet-to-helmet hammer punch to Jesse Bates. That was great to watch. The Bills signed Tyler Kroft a year ago, and he disappointed big time. He was slowed by injuries and he ended up catching just 6 passes in 11 games. So Knox, Sweeney, Kroft, and run blocker Lee Smith are all back for the 2020 season. Let's talk about the offensive line, shall we? As mentioned in my 2019 preview, the offensive line play had been a huge liability for the Bills over the years. GM Brandon Beane signed many guys and the result was satisfying as a whole. There have been some articles showing how one of the key factors for good offensive line play is to have the same guys play together for a while. The good news for Buffalo is all guys are returning for 2020. The 6 players with the most playing time are as follows: along with their PFF rankings. Quinton Spain, 59th out of 81. Dion Dawkins, 25th out of 81. John Feliciano, 35th out of 81. Mitch Morse, 18th out of 37. Cody Ford, 73rd out of 81. And Ty Nseke, 43rd out of 81. Not only is the team returning all its offensive linemen, but they also acquired Darrell Williams for the Panthers. He received below average marks from PFF last year. So overall, what can we expect from Buffalo's offense? The main thing I like about this offense is this: continuity. The only starter who won't be back in 2020 is Frank Gore, and he was awful anyway. Josh Allen, Devin Singletary, and Dawson Knox all had either 0 or 1 year of experience prior to the 2019 season, so they are clearly more likely to improve than to regress. As for the wide receiver position, the unit will get an enormous boost from the acquisition of Stefon Diggs. It will create more space for John Brown and Cole Beasley, who are both quality pass catchers. And to top it all off, you've got the entire offensive line returning for a second consecutive season, along with the addition of a decent player, Darrell Williams. Buffalo finished the year in 23rd place with respect to points scored per game. I expect a fairly significant increase in 2020. Let's now preview Buffalo's defense in 2020. I see a slight upgrade at the defensive line position, adding Vernon Butler and Quinton Jefferson, Ed Oliver having more experience, but losing Jordan Phillips. But I see a small downgrade for edge rushers, adding Mario Addison and rookie Epenesa, but losing Shaq Lawson and having Trent Murphy and Jerry Hughes getting up there in age. At the linebacker position, replacing Lorenzo Alexander with AJ Klein is probably a wash. You could argue that Tremaine Edmunds will improve with 31 games under his belt. No major increase or decrease can be expected either at cornerback and safety. For these reasons, I will predict similar production as 2019 from this unit. But a quick warning, there could be a bit of a decrease. Why? Well, notice the very few injuries the Buffalo defense went through last season. They will be lucky if the same happens in 2020. Last year, I won my largest bet ever, which happened to be on the Buffalo Bills to win more than 6.5 games. After just 10 matches, the bet was already a winner. Now this year, instead of just one betting tip, I've got 32 of them. As advertised at the very beginning, 22 out of the 32 plays are unveiled for free. But the top 10 plays, whose return on investment are all above 24%, are available in a gold package, whose link is provided below. The package includes a tip on the 2020 Buffalo Bills. Will they win over or under 8.5 games this year? Now don't try to anticipate the answer based on the analysis I made in this video. As explained in several previous videos, the picks are based on the simulation of the 2020 NFL season 1 million times, where each game is simulated according to odds posted by betonline.ag, which have nothing to do with my own opinion. Now last year I bet close to $10,000 on the Bills. This time I plan to wager a total of $150,000 US on my top 7 to 10 picks. That says a lot about my level of confidence here. So join the other savvy sports investors who have already put their hands on this gold package. The plays are backed by rock-solid statistical analyses. I'm Professor MJ, a university statistics professor. Thanks for watching. Get this gold package now to increase your bankroll significantly.